Tell me about the time you realized your child might be a psychopath. I'll go first. I was on a video call about 2 Christmases ago with my mom because my grandmother was in a coma and they were unfortunately about to pull the plug. And so the kids and I were calling to say, bye Grandma Karen, we love you very much, you know, we'll miss you. And I swear to you, my daughter goes, can we watch her die? Fuck. I have slept with a lock on my door ever since. Tell me about the time you realized your child might be a psychopath.
So my daughter came up to me like 2 months ago, and very sweet, because she is very sweet most of the time, and she said, Mommy, you haven't yelled at me, you haven't spanked me, and I love you, so I'm not going to kill you tonight. Tonight? Were you going to kill me if I planned on yelling at you? What? And then she was like, I don't think I'm going to kill Daddy either. So now she frightens me, and she's 4.
Tell me about the time you realized your child might be a psychopath.
Okay, so my youngest comes up to me and she goes, hey, can you record your voice on one of those little Build-A-Bear hearts next time we go? And I'm like, yeah, honey, of course. And she goes, sweet, because we're going to put that inside you when you die and fill you full of stuffing. She said we, so she ran this by somebody else that agreed on that idea. She wanted me to say, I love you so much. I don't know if I'm honored or if, like, seriously, I should call someone and get her the help she so desperately, desperately needs. But she loves me.
Tell me about the time you realized your child might be a psychopath. I'll go first.
So one day my 6-year-old was asking me for something and I told him no. And he didn't like that answer, so he proceeded to choke me and I acted like I died. And instead of him like freaking out, he just stood over my dead corpse looking at me, gets down, walks over to his little sister's room where she was in timeout and says, it's okay, you can come out. I killed her. And they both took off and ran down the hallway to play.
Tell me about the time you realized your child might be a psychopath.
My son is 7, and I keep a list in my phone of the things that he says. And a few of them have caused me to raise an eyebrow. His very first sentence, the very first thing he ever said was, I don't want to die. He's said things to me like, what about like a torso party? He's also said things like, I had earrings like that when I was a girl. He's also said, when he was 9 months old, I called my mother in a panic because I was yawning at him and he would not yawn back. So I was convinced he had no empathy. He also hates animals inexplicably. When I told him I loved him so much I would jump in front of a bus for him, he goes, oh yeah, do that. So I'm keeping an eye on it.
Tell me about the time you realized your child might be a psychopath.
So immediately after my first son was born, I tried to get pregnant again. Couldn't. Tried for 2 years, could not get pregnant. Went to specialists and they said, we don't know how you got pregnant the first time. It was a miracle, so just accept that and move on. I was absolutely heartbroken. Walking through the hallway, my son, who's 2 at the time, puts his hand on my stomach and says, oh, you have my baby brother in your stomach. I immediately start crying. I tell him I don't. He insists that I do. Turns out I did. I was pregnant with his brother. Flash forward 9 months, baby's born. My older son is so excited to be a big brother. He's holding the baby. He's patting him on the head. He says, when this one dies, can we get a new one? I said, this one's not going to die. He says, yeah, he is.